Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining this recording. We appreciate your patience as we had some illness in the TCSL office on the day we were planning to meet with you virtually. We encourage you to watch start to finish this recording as it outlines how Winter League operates a bit differently than the traditional outdoor season. We'll talk about schedule methodology, timeline in terms of matches, talk a little bit about the 9v9 game, what we expect from a reschedule perspective, talk about game day procedures, and we'll also conclude with reminding you about Minnesota Cup. To start, the schedule in which you received, I believe last Tuesday, the 12th, we meaning TCSL, formed divisions with competition in mind. Some divisions have multiple tiers within them, and we worked with the leadership of our member clubs to ensure that divisions were formed with competition in mind to the best of our ability. All teams in the Winter League will play 6 matches, 3 home and 3 away. Most of the Winter League will wrap up by March 9th. Some matches will play into later in March due to facility availability in combination with doing our absolute best to schedule around blackout dates. So if you have a match scheduled after March 9th, it was because it was generally needed in order to make the schedule work. Secondly, we try really hard to ensure that your schedules are spread out as much as possible throughout the winter season. We took into account every blackout date to our knowledge. If you feel you were scheduled on a blackout date, please get in touch with us and we will confirm if in fact that blackout date was entered before the deadline. And if it was, we will do everything in our power to correct that. If it was entered after the fact or if it wasn't entered at all, there's likely not anything we can do at this stage. And last, this likely doesn't come as a surprise to you, the major constraint when we build this schedule is when facilities are available. It's quite a complex puzzle, but in the end, we feel as though the schedule that is live to teams now is a good one. We will also be double-checking, triple-checking dome contracts, working with our clubs to ensure that matches that are scheduled, there's an actual dome available or a facility available. We don't anticipate major changes by any means, but there might be a game or two here or there that we need to adjust, and we appreciate your patience as we work to ensure that things are double-checked. From a timeline perspective, you will have already received your schedules, obviously. The first weekend of play is this coming weekend, the 22nd through the 24th. 11U to 14U teams only will play beginning that weekend. This was a slight change we made this year to try to give high school age teams more of an opportunity to get ready for the season. And then the first weekend for 15U to 19U will be December 6th through the 8th. The last weekend of play is March 7th through the 9th. There's an asterisk on that. If you have matches scheduled after March 9th, it was because there was a necessity to do so. It either had to do with doing our best to resolve a blackout date, but more often than not, it was because of facility availability. From a league blackout perspective, there will be no games the Thanksgiving weekend, 29th through the 1st, and then there will be no games the 23rd of December through the 2nd of January for winter break. Want to touch on briefly some specifics related to the 9v9 game. Only certain domes can accommodate 9v9 matches. Only certain domes have the space. Only certain domes have the lines. Only certain domes have the appropriate goals. So if you have a match scheduled in a dome and you are a 9v9 team, that means that dome can accommodate 9v9. What this also means is that all of these domes that can accommodate 9v9, it can also accommodate 11v11. In general, 2 9v9s can be played across an 11v11 field. So it could be that the field needs to be prepared prior to your match. And we ask the coaches should be prepared to set up the fields if there's an 11v11 game going on before, or training or whatnot. And then lastly, oftentimes, in fact, most of the domes where 9v9 can be played, there can be 2 9v9 games happening simultaneously, so don't be alarmed if there are 4 teams ready to start a game. That likely is meant to be. Okay, from a reschedule policy, as you know, the winter season is unlike traditional outdoor seasons. There's many more constraints, whether it be, when facilities are available, blackout dates, whatnot. So the bottom line is this: we will accommodate a reschedule if the home club has a facility and both parties agree. We will not say no to such a reschedule. However, we want to make it clear that no club is under any obligation to reschedule. Most importantly, all winter reschedule requests flow through club leadership. The only way that we will update the master schedule is if a form is completed by the home club's leadership, submitted to the TCSL office. Once received, we will update the master schedule. We anticipate that 95% of the schedule that is out now will remain, and there will likely be a game here or there that may be approved for a reschedule, but all of those factors must be true before the form is submitted and we ultimately approve it. We appreciate your attention to this. From a dome logistics standpoint, all games have a defined start and end time. What this means is that all games must kick off on time. And we've re-emphasized this with the referees working in the league this winter. We had a webinar with them on Sunday, and we drove home this point that they are accountable to ensuring that games kick off on time. In addition, our message to coaches and to a lesser degree managers is that please help ensure that games can kick off on time. We've asked our referees to ensure that halftime is kept somewhere in the ballpark of 5 to 10 minutes, no more than 10 minutes. Like I said, referees have been asked to keep matches on time. And then coaches, please be mindful of the start and end time blocks. If you have a question about those start and end time blocks, your club administrator would be a good resource for. Game day procedures. Referees, TCSL assigns. You don't have to do anything relative to referees or ensuring that referees are assigned. We take care of all that. Mandatory. Jersey numbers must be entered into GotSport. All players must be listed on the roster that are playing in that specific match. What to bring? You'll bring a photo match card, no different than you would for a traditional outdoor season. And then all coaches must have a credential. That can be a digital pass, but we want to emphasize that all coaches that are coaching in the technical area must have a coach's pass. Because we are in define start and end time blocks, like I mentioned, because dome time is expensive. We don't want there to be prolonged time spent checking in every player one by one. We've asked referees to do a brief equipment check, and we've asked them, obviously, to get the games kicked off on time. What this doesn't mean that you don't have to bring a photo match card. You definitely have to bring a photo match card with all the players that are playing. If there's a question about player eligibility, we will follow up as if it were a normal league, league traditional game outdoors where check-in did take place. The main difference is that there is no check-in player by player in the Winter League. And we do that to not compromise starting on time. If you have questions about how to update jersey numbers, how to print a photo match card, how to submit or add a Club Pass player to a roster, on the TCSL website, you will find an icon in the lower right-hand corner. It says Help. Click on that link. You'll be directed to various articles about the topic that you're looking for. If you still are unsure, feel free to submit a support ticket on our website, again, via that Help icon, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. And then lastly, we want to ensure that everybody is updated about Minnesota Cup 2025. That's a small typo. May 28th through June 1st, 2025. U13 to U19 boys and girls, 2 levels of play. The winners in the Super Division will advance to National Cup in Colorado. The winners in the Premier Division will advance to Midwest Regionals in Illinois. Last year, there were 230 teams. We expect this event to grow once again. It's really a celebration of soccer, the top teams in our state competing to represent on the national scene, and we look forward to having your teams at this event. That's all we have for you. We wish you the very best this winter season. We will send out this webinar in addition to various links, resources to ensure that you're ready to go. And again, we look forward to watching your teams compete this winter season. Have a great day.